Salubrious salutations and redundant recitations. This is about taking action when you're depressed, which is one of the hardest things in the world to do. I guess I should see if it makes a difference and turn off my AC's on fan. But I'm sure you heard the beep. But anyways, so yeah, I found out that news about like, okay, no scooter. Yet again, no scooter. Yet again, delay. Yet again, stuck in the house and all that. And I didn't do the video I wanted, the CRPS video that I wanted. I did find some cool pictures though for it, and the tool cover of Terrible Lie. Um, I don't know. That just popped in my head to play that. You know, um, it has a line in it that God's promises are lies, but you know, it's it's an emotional thing. Music is an art form. It's not. You don't watch Robert De Niro kick the shit out of somebody in a bar and think, damn, look at Robert De Niro, he's a bastard. So, the point is to evoke emotion with art. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that, this is this guy's true feelings. And plus, in the song, he's like, he tried hard to believe, but the promises that he heard turned out to be lies. Which the song has a certain amount of meaning for me because I watched my mother, a very devout and kindly woman, suffer for years. I don't know how many years. I couldn't even tell you how many years, but like 5, maybe years in dementia, and I wasn't there for it, but my brother was, and she also went through a lot of time where she didn't really know who she was and was like lost in some kind of terrifying wilderness inside of her own mind. And, you know, so really, she said to me once, she was like a hyper religious person to deal with having her husband and father of her children being a killer. She said to me once that I was the key to saving our family, which is something you should never say to anybody because I can't control the way other people in my family behave, obviously, you know. But I was very young. I think my Bible is over there, so I can't quite reach it, but I think it's like actually written in the margin of her Bible uh, that something like Steve is the key to the salvation of the family or something like that. So, and then she gave me the Bible, which I showed on here before. I'll have to reach up there and grab it, show it to you again. But this was her Bible that she poured through, highlighting passages and trying to find hope in a hopeless situation. And then dying a horrible, miserable death. Now, whether the promises of eternal reward for being a faithful and good woman who taught her children the best she could to be kind and decent people. And I told her before she slid into dementia that anything that's good about me I got from her. You know, obviously, you know, my dad being who my dad was. So, um, yeah. So some people might think that song is like blasphemous or it just kind of fit it just kind of popped in my head and just kind of fit to describe. I don't know how you describe CRPS or describe what it is to basically feel like you're being burned 24/7. Like, or like a better way to put it is like when your arm falls asleep and you get that tingly sensation. If you had that tingly sensation and then you rubbed a bunch of icy hot and heated it up, you know, that's like well, it's neuropathy if you have neuropathy, but it's a different level of neuropathy. So it's very hard to explain on a, you know, you can only walk in somebody's shoes to some degree. I mean, I can't understand what it would have been like to be Wilt Chamberlain and to be 7'1" and live in a world that doesn't fit you, or to be Andre the Giant and live in a world that doesn't fit you, or where you hold a beer can like this and cover up the whole beer can and it's like one swallow to you, you know. So it's very hard for someone to understand CRPS intellectually, but emotionally, I thought I would try the emotional route, you know. Um, Anyways, as far as taking action when you're depressed, it's a must. You have to do it. So what I did is I'm like, I can't get a scooter through these channels that I've been trying. They are expensive machines. You want to get a decent scooter, you're looking at $2,000 to $3,000. So I got this idea in my head, like I will try to buy one off of eBay with local pickup, because obviously shipping the scooter is impractical. They weigh 200 pounds. So, you pay, say you paid $700 for a used scooter, you might spend $700 to ship a used scooter. So I thought local pickup. So there's this town called Galion, Ohio, that's eBay said was 45 miles away from here, but it's actually 61 miles away from here. They're probably talking in a straight line, but in the real world where you actually have to drive roads and things, you know, I looked it up on MapQuest. So I bought it. I have to figure out a way to pick it up, but it was a new listing. It's a trike. It's the I might as well like show you the thing in the description that I bought. Um, it has the fastest. It's the fastest scooter around, because the ones that you see people rolling around on, they go like 4 and 5 miles an hour. This thing goes 18 miles an hour at top speed. Which, if you drive a car, you're like, but 18 miles an hour is plenty fast if you're used to riding an electric bicycle. My electric bicycle topped out at 20 miles an hour. And I could cook on that thing, especially if I had a downhill run going. Um, so I'll put that link down there, and you can look at what I bought. But thing of it was a new listing, like just put up, and it was obviously a dump listing. I'll call it, where it's like, don't want it, don't care about it, don't need it, got plenty of money, get it out of the garage, type of thing. So it's 550. Now I'm just feeling the guy out, So I'm like, usually it had make an offer. You make an offer, they make a counter offer. You make a counter offer. So I just put in $485, and the guy snapped it up instantly. Now, getting to Galleon, I will probably have to depend on my cop friend to do it. I have one other option to pick the thing up, and it's obviously been used. I mean, the pictures will show you that. It's got. I don't think you could dump a trike. You know, you can dump a two wheeler, but I don't think you can dump a trike. So there's that. But it's obviously been used, And but I figured for $485 I could afford to take a flyer. The problem is in the one video you saw me pay 4 months rent in advance to the landlord and then tear up $100 bill. So not good timing. I had to borrow some money. Um, also, also, I changed my phone plan around and I got my internet bill like way down, but that's not how that works. They charge you your standard internet bill and then they subtract or prorate it or whatever the word is off your next internet bill. So I got to call them and I got to make arrangements with payments and stuff. And I had to disable like auto pay. So it's very important when you're depressed to do something, So that's what I did. I'm like, these. My doctor did not even bother to send in the forms for 2 months. It's like, so I will do it myself. Now, the irony of me stumbling upon, you know, this ridiculous deal when I have no money is just typical. But I went ahead and did it anyway. Now I paid for it last night. The guy is grouchy as hell, and he's like, But the cool thing is, it's like won't be no scheduling conflicts because they're both retirees, as he put it. Because I said I can work around your schedule because I don't have any. And he said it doesn't matter. You come up and pick it up anytime. We're both retirees, so that's cool. Um, Now, as far as like the video of me walking, yeah, it hurts as bad as it looks or worse. And it's the reason why, um, like, I seem robotic or unemotional a lot of times is because the CRPS kind of like kills that in you if you get it at an early age. Because, as I've explained in other videos, your emotions is like throwing lighter fluid on the neuropathy, on the burning, on the fire. I'd screwed that up. I could have made that better. But yeah, it's just gasoline on the fire. So you don't want to get upset. You don't want to get too high. You don't want to get too worked up. You don't want to throw your landlord out of the building. That will make you sick. You don't want to wield machetes at people. You don't want to get sprayed by exterminators and push them out of the way. You don't want to get aggravated in any way, shape, or form. So another thing that I did is I worked out something with my insurance uh, company where I'm going to have aides come in here. And they're going to do a little of, apparently they can do a lot of stuff I'd have no idea with. Like they could have picked up they can pick up stuff at the drugstore for you. They can do like grocery shopping for you. But I only have like 2 days a week I can have somebody kind of come in for 2 hours and do certain chores. There's certain things they'll do, and there's certain things they won't do. And but I was like, well, hell, I didn't know. I had it described to me before, and I'm like, no, I don't want any real intrusion into my schedule or my house. Because they were made it sound like all they could do is like sweep your floor and do light dusting. It's like, not according to the list of stuff that I heard. Though they will scrub your refrigerator. You know, they will clean your commode, as the lady put it yesterday. So that was an anti-depression measure. Um, so they're gonna cut. Today is Wednesday. It is 5 in the morning. I have an appointment today for yet another appointment. For somebody coming to. At least they're coming to me, coming into my house and talking to me. Checking me up to see if I still qualify for the waiver program. I mean, I don't know. I already have my Meals on Wheels benefits approved and stuff. I figured like for so many years I just toughed it out and was poor and I never felt entitled. So I was like, all I need is that social security check. That's enough. I don't need any extra benefits. I don't need any extra help. It's like that's all I deserve. It's like there's people out there working and they're paying those taxes. But now that things are kind of dire with me physically, it's like I am going to take every advantage that I can of being this messed up. And the walking video shows you about where I'm at. I mean, it's very hard to like, it was, I should say, very hard to hurt my feelings. You could say anything to me, I wouldn't care. Before benzodiazepines, now that makes you emotionally raw. Um, some benzos do that to you for some reason. But my brother actually hurt my feelings because we had went fishing at the Sandusky River for white bass for the white bass run. This is many years ago. Very terrifying for me because you have to climb down this rocky slope and then climb back up it, which shows you what I used to be like. I used to be able to do that. When I got to the top, my legs were so tired that I couldn't get my leg over top of this railing, and he's sitting there waiting on me, and he's being impatient. And he said, "Come on, quit moving like a retarded baby giraffe." And that actually hurt my feelings. And I'd come back at him, and I told him about that. I was like, "That wasn't very cool, dude." It's like I didn't come back at him insultingly or anything like that because he is a sensitive dude. So and plus, I don't like to sink to other people's levels. I feel like I would feel wrong if I came back and said, "Well, like you're a fucking head case," or something like that. No, I'm trying to help. That's my brother. I love my brother. I'm trying to help him. I'm not trying to hurt him. But I'll never forget. He said, "Quit moving like a retarded baby giraffe," he's a very creative guy, verbally. He has a stammering thing going on, and he takes like forever to say anything. So he used up all the minutes on my phone, and I had to buy new minutes. And I'm like, I'm getting new minutes on my phone because they give you 350 minutes free. And I said I only need a week, and then they'll give me 350 more free minutes. But nobody, it's, I can't. It takes him 5 minutes to say hello. You're like, well, you're one to talk, you long-winded son of a bitch. And I was like, yeah, I understand I'm long-winded, but there's long-winded, and then there is the hurricane blast that drove the Pequod across the ocean with Captain Ahab on it. that's my brother. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm trying to. That's what you have to do, and it's really hard. Is when you keep taking hits like that. Like I keep taking hits. I went through 5 months trying to get something done about my Baker cyst knee. Nothing done at all. You seen the way you see me walking. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna get that mobility scooter. I want to get one thing accomplished. And then my doctor doesn't even send in the paperwork for almost 2 months, delaying the whole process. So I'm not, might not even see that government scooter that goes 5 miles an hour until winter, you know. So that's why I decided, like, well, I'm just gonna look on eBay and try to find my own. You know, I think it's very important. Like, passivity is the most stressful thing in the world. I've said this before, but my dad used to have this expression where he said, "Do something, even if it's wrong," and it's a really messed up expression, especially coming from him. But there is a kernel of truth in there. Like, if you just sit around and do nothing, your stress level will go through the roof because you have to exercise your own power and take strength from that. And whatever you can do, Some days, man, like I said, I lay in bed and I don't eat, and it's like a force of will thing for me to even eat. So um, it's like you have to realize when you're in that state that's like yeah, it's hard, seems impossible, but you gotta do something. You know, like probably about 35% of me yammering on here is like that's what I can do. Is maybe I can be entertaining, or maybe the few people that listen to me can get something out of listening to me. It's something. So, you know, um, I don't really have a whole. Let's see. I'm already at the 20-minute mark. I don't um, really have a whole lot else to report. I, I the lady that was here yesterday, okay, she didn't know what CRPS was. She said she was going to look it up on the computer. I was in shorts and I was in a shirt with it open, and I just gave her the tour because she said she was like a junior in high school when I was born. So, she was, I was like, this here, I gave her the tour that I was going to give you guys. But it's a lot easier in person than on, trying to get the lighting right. And especially with me being so pale, like the thoracotomy scar is right there where they pulled the rib out. I mean, it showed up there, but you got to get the lighting right and everything. Um, so that's kind of like where my hypersensitivity starts. Is like in a line, and the alarming thing to me is it's advancing upward, and I'm pretty sure your heart is like right around here, and that is probably why I've been having heart trouble, and probably why I made that title CRPS man walking, dead man walking is you know I feel like sooner or later this disease will kill me. You know, I don't know if I can halt its progression. I don't know if I can even improve it. I mean, I improved it when I was young, when I first caught it, and I learned how to walk, but I was in my 20s and I had life in me that I don't have now because like I said, I have this theory that I believe to be true. Like each of us are only gifted with so much of the life force, and we have to use it wisely, or we have to use it, in my case, for survival reasons and fighting. It's not like a endless source of energy. That's there's some people that live to be 100+ years old, but they usually don't have parts cut out of them or scars like I've shown you, or chronic pain diseases, or the kind of family issues that I've had and things like that. So, um, yeah, that was the I think I explained that already in the video description itself. But sometimes, I'm such an odd cat, and I think in such an odd way, which sometimes it doesn't get across because but that's why I was like CRPS man walking. In case anybody didn't get that, for dead man walking. And if I am underestimating your intelligence, I apologize. But anyways, um, so I'm talking to her, and it's like it's funny. Every time I mention Baker's cyst to anybody, the first thing they do is like, oh, they either wince or swear. You know, it's like anybody that's had any experience with it, even like a medical person that's treated it, or they're like, oh, the more, if you talk to a doctor, they got the doctor demeanor, so they just give you that look like, they hold back, but like that woman was like some sort of nurse or something. She was like, oh, and I actually told the guy who delivers my Meals on Wheels and goes, oh shit, those are a bitch. Because he had one and they're exceedingly painful. I mean, screwed up my walking. I used to be able to walk, not like that, not like what you saw. Um, but anyways, the interview with the woman, I guess, went pretty well, and I guess I can. These, she went through each room in the house. She saw the 8 foot. She went in. I guess that's part of her job, and she saw. She didn't say nothing about the 8 foot hole in the wall with the cardboard over top of it. But this place is trashed once again. So there's plenty for any aide to do, and 2 hours wouldn't cut it. But I kind of have to make a decision about like, do I want to divulge the bed bug thing? Because I let her in my house, but she's just sitting in a chair. She's not digging around and stuff. She didn't really go in the bedroom. She like the door was open. She just looked. She says, "I gotta look in each room of your house or your living space." You know. But if you get somebody in here cleaning, they're rustling around. They got more chance of picking up if there's any eggs or living bed bugs in here. They got a chance of picking them up. So I have to make a decision. And I'm thinking I'll do it this way because they're going to show up Thursday. Today's Wednesday. That's tomorrow. So I'm just going to sit out on the porch. I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to tell them, because uh, I like to think of myself as a decent human being. And bed bugs are, like I said, the devil with 6 legs. I mean, they're notoriously hard to get rid of. And just tell her, like you don't have to do nothing inside the home today. It's like I don't have any money for her to do any shopping though. But I mean, I can hand you stuff in the hallway that you can throw out for me, or uh, something like that. But there are precautions you could take, and like this be the first time I'm meeting this person. Um, like after you come out of here, just bring a change of clothes, and I would recommend going somewhere, changing out of the clothes that you wore in here, putting them in a sealed bag, and then putting on a fresh pair of clothes, and taking the sealed bag and putting them in hot water in a washing machine because heat kills things. But the place has been treated, but they're bed bugs. They're notorious for being damn near impossible to get rid of. So I think I will have to do that for my conscience sake. And, that might actually spoil my whole deal about getting help. But if it does, it does. You know, I'm not going to do that to anybody. You know, I mean, I let that lady come in here. Part of the reason is because the Afghani vet was on the porch. And that interview would not have went well on the porch. So, um, but also I think she needed to be in the house because that was part of her job was to inspect the living domicile. Okay, and just see how I'm living, which is basically slovenly. But no, like I said, that's the way you fight depression. It's very very hard to do. Is you do things, and believe me, not easy. Uh, Not easy. Not a simple chore. Very getting everything coordinated with getting the money loan, getting the money in the bank, dealing with this guy who got really pissed off at me because I was like, look, if you want to back out of the deal, and he got real pissed off and said, you're the second guy to pull this shit, and he's writing me angry stuff, and I'm like, listen, I know what I said was a dumb message. Expect payment tonight, but I didn't have any money. I had like $200, and I don't have any credit, and I needed 485, so I had to borrow some money, and plus I needed money to borrow to get through the rest of the month. So um, it's just one of them things that always happens. It seems like you have a big bunch of money, you have a need, but the scooters are $2,000 or $2,300, and then you just happen on this thing where this person just obviously wants to get rid of it because they're either too old to use it anymore or what, I don't know. Um, but anyways, um, yeah, I think that's about it. I don't really have anything else to report. Um, I don't know. I went ahead and because I could put it in Mojave and cut off the end of it, I went ahead and put me playing guitar up there on the thing that I wrote, and I don't know why I did that. I don't know. I'm kind of, even though I didn't do the best job playing it, I guess I'm kind of proud that I was able to teach myself how to do that. So I don't have any talent when it comes to that. You know, my ears aren't good, so that's all just willpower and using your mind to overcome your physical limitations. A la Larry Bird on a basketball court, but I ain't no Larry Bird on guitar. That's for damn sure. But anyways, uh, I'm just kind of like bored. I was started to watch the baseball game from last night. Couldn't get into it. I started to look at some other stuff on the internet. Couldn't get into it. Started to watch the whole basketball game with Larry Bird in it, playing Dr. J. Couldn't get into it. So I was like, I'll let people know that I'm doing better since the Hey God song, a little bleak, you know. I could have edited it better, done a better job with it, but depression being depression, yeah, it's such a it's it can be paralyzing, you know. It can literally depression can literally be paralyzing where you're just you don't you can't just lay there and piss yourself, but it's almost like uh, I got to get out of bed and piss. Fuck, it's that it can be that bad. And luckily for me, I don't have clinical depression. Like I've known people with clinical depression. I have depression that's based in reality that I can fight. Clinical depression, that's a whole nother matter that I'm not qualified to speak on, even though my younger brother has clinical depression that he fights all the time. But he doesn't like to talk about things. So, and plus, like I said, as far as walking in other people's shoes, that's a tough thing. It's an easy thing to say, but it's really a tough thing to do. So I can't imagine being him, like there's glass half empty. I've used this metaphor before, but there's glass half full people, there's glass half empty people, and then there's people that are glass half empty, spilled on the floor, stepped on a piece of glass people. That's sort of like what my brother can be like, but he's been much better. But he has to keep himself busy all the time, or the clinical depression will just get him. And he is strong as an ox, man. It's crazy just because he's um, has like sleeping problems that go along with his clinical depression, and he's always fighting clinical depression through physical labor. So there's something in here. I'm not a weak dude as far as lifting things, but he's like crazy strong, like my father was. Um, it's like because you know that's what he's doing all the time is working physical labor. And I was like, before I could even tell him, like, that stand's like really heavy. He's already got it lifted and walking it out here. I said, you got to be careful with that. really freaking heavy stuff. And that's as far as I get. I already have it lifted and carried out into the other room, like I would lift up a plate of food, you know, with a lot less chance of dropping. I have much more chance of dropping the plate of food than he would uh, some ridiculously heavy piece of furniture. But anyways, I should get off here. I just want to check in and let you know that I was doing better, and that, to quote the movie Legends of the Fall, fuck the government. There was I think a character, you may or may not remember the movie, but it was about fishing. It had Brad Pitt in it. It had Anthony Hopkins in it, who had a stroke, and he has a line in it where he can't talk right because he had a stroke, and he was like, "Fuck the government," but he said it in a messed up way. But I mean, like, it's not the government that's keeping me from getting a scooter and getting out of the house. It's just some kind of bizarre medical bureaucracy that's responsible for so many bruises and contusions and scrapes and future scars. And, you know, so it's not the government. It's just medical bureaucracy that's keeping me trapped. Like, I got one of the reasons why I bought the scooter is I got super freaked out because I went out in my own neighborhood and didn't recognize it. I mean, when I'm going someplace, I'm going like in a car, and I'm going to a medical appointment, or I'm going in one of those SARTA buses where you can't see shit if you're tall. You can't see anything. But I I went uh, somewhere with my niece in a car, and I'm like, they remodeled this gas station that I used to go to all the damn time, especially when I was a smoker. Like, I'm still a smoker, but when I was like a smoker, go to this gas station all the time. It's like everybody goes to the speedway and then the neighborhood. I didn't even recognize the damn thing. It freaked me out. I was like, I'm not even recognizing my own neighborhood. That's how long I've been shut in. So it freaked me out. And it's like, man, I got to do something about this. So whether it'll work out or not, I don't know. But I did something. So that's why I feel better. Because, like my dad said, do something, even if it's wrong. So even if it's a bad choice buying that used scooter and it doesn't work right or whatever, um, maybe it can be a stopgap measure until I get the government scooter thing or whatever, the government medical scooter, and get it straightened out. So I feel better just for doing something, for just trying to get some medical help in here, and trying to do something to get outside and take care of my own business. And you know, I still have to live in this building though with the PTSD guy and the Stampy and the lovely Gerald, and I'll be here for a while. But if the scooter works and it works efficiently, it goes 18 miles an hour, and on one charge, it can go 45 freaking miles, depending upon how much you weigh. And it's got a 350 pound capacity load. So, um, I can get out of here. I can get out of prison. I can go places before the winter's over. I will go places on the thing if there's no snow and ice to deal with when it's cold outside. Cause I'm old school when it comes to that, man. I've been riding on two wheels for a long time. I rode in weather where it was 18 degrees and windy course, that was when I was younger, but even with the electric bike a few years ago, when I was able to ride it, just bundle up, you know. So this could be a good thing for me, or maybe this could be like a turning point for me. Maybe just getting out of the house will make me want to work with my legs and not walk like a retarded baby giraffe. And I hear the birds are chirping. It is 5:45. Sunrise is coming up, and pretty soon it'll be time to feed the cats. And I might even risk a second cup of coffee. I just wanted to tell you that I was doing better, and that anybody that follows me or listens to me, just the fact you don't have to comment, you don't have to like me or dislike me, or any of them things that people say, like they're like, if you like this video, please remember to do this, or please remember to subscribe. I don't care about all that. The fact that you're listening to me right now is meaningful to me. It's like you don't have to express it in any way at all. Just the fact just the fact that you actually sat here for 41 minutes and visited with me. Well, goddamn it, thank you. And if you're offended by profanity, uh, I'm probably not the guy for you. So, yeah, peace out, brother.